What's up, fight fans? And we're back at it with another one here at Round One Sports Talk. Join me as I break down two of the best fighters in the world, Terence Bud Crawford and Naoya the Monster Inoue, and why a lot of people have them side by side, 1 and 2. And we made an amazing video here for you today, and let you be the judge at the end of the video of who you believe is the best fighter right now currently in the world and why. And I promise you that I will bring no opinions into this video. The only thing that these two fighters can be judged by are pure facts and what they've done in their respectable career. So if you didn't have time to break down all their, what they did in their careers, well, I did your homework for you. So sit back, sit tight, and let's break down these two fighters as we go in this video. So, okay, this is gonna be a big one right here. Have you ever had the debate with your friend about Terence Crawford being the best fighter in the world, and then all of a sudden somebody mentions this Japanese guy, Naoya Inoue, you have no idea who this dude is? Now, there's a flip side to that coin, because this is going vice versa. There's a Japanese guy out there that's saying, who the hell is Terence Crawford, right? So the debate goes back and forth on who is the best. Now, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has an opinion, and you can throw around accusations and moments and times and specific moments inside of fights and try to judge them by that and say that makes them the best. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. We have to break down the fighters, and I've done that for you. Now, let's break down the first fighter, Terence Bud Crawford. Now, I want you to keep in mind all the achievements, and I'm going to recap at the end of the video. I'm going to put them all together, okay? So, but first, I'm just going to break it down so that you can have a picture. Okay, Terence Bud Crawford is an American fighter, okay? He was born in Omaha, Nebraska, US of A. He's 35 years of age. He's 5'8". He has a 74-inch arm reach. He has a 77 knockout percentage ratio, and he was born September 28th, 1987. Okay, he is listed as a southpaw. His record is 40 fights with 31 big ways by knockout. He is undefeated. That's my man, right? Okay, now, I would like to point this out right here, that in United States of America, there are currently, in his division, 147 pounds, welterweight, there are currently 395 registered fighters. He is ranked number 1 in the world because boxing is a global sport. There are 2,095 registered welterweight fighters, and he is currently ranked number 1 in the world. 1, right? In the world, okay? So, Bud Crawford started his professional career on March 14th, 2008. Okay, now we're going to move up a little bit. He didn't contend for his first world title, and this is where this comes in importance, because what you did in your career was great, but it really counts. The Hall of Fame status is what you did in championship fights and how many you had and how many champions you beat. Right? So that's what we're going to judge them on. We're going to judge them on their performances as champions, okay? Terence Crawford has 17 world champion fights. 17. And his first world title, he contended for his first world title in his 23rd professional fight, okay? He won the WBO. He won the WBO against Ricky Burns. Okay, Ricky Burns, he went 12 rounds with Ricky Burns, okay, and he won his first title at 135. That was his first weight division, number 1. In that division, he had 2 more fights, and he moved up to 140, where he fought Thompson. Thompson came into that fight with a record of 22-1-0, okay? He knocked out Thompson in the 6th round, and he became the WBO 140-pound champion, okay? Okay, it's a mental note. I'm going to throw this in as a side note, that it took Terence Crawford from the day he started his professional career, which was March 14, 2008, it took him 6 years to fight for his first world title. Okay? 6 years. He had his 23rd professional fight. He got the WBO. Okay. So once again, we're at Thompson. He won the 140, right? And in the 140 division, okay, he fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 140 division. He unified the titles against, let's slow down. He unified the titles against Victor Postol. Victor Postol came into that fight with a record of 28 fights, 0-0, right? He unified the titles. He already had the WBO. He won the WBC at that time. This is his second weight division, okay? Now, mental note, I'm just going to throw a little side thing on Victor Postol. He came into that fight, 28 fights, 20 fights and 0, right? They did go the distance in the fight, right? But Victor Postol, let's remember in that fight, if my memory serves me correctly, Terence Crawford knocked him down twice in the 5th round. They took a point away from Victor Postol in that fight for hitting him behind the head. Remember, in the 11th round, they deducted him a point, right? He was fighting him, and listen, anyway, that was a good fight, but let's just carry on. Now, the point is that he later goes and unifies the 140 pound championships, right? He goes and unifies them, and he does that against Inoue. I'm not sure I'm saying his name correctly. He came into that fight 22-0, and Terence Crawford knocked him out in the 3rd round. And that was his last fight at 140 pounds. And he unified all the belts. So he had 4 belts. So keep in mind with me, that's 2-weight division, and that's already 5 belts, right? Because he won 4 at 140, and he got the 1 at 135. A lot of people forget about that belt, but he won it. It was a WBO. Okay, now, he moves up to 147. His first fight at 147 was against Jeff Horn, which he won the WBO title, right? Okay. Now, he stopped Jeff Horn with TKO in the 9th round. You know, Jeff Horn came into that fight 18-0-1. He's coming off that fight. Remember, Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao? Anyway, he got the belt, and Terence Crawford beat him. Let's keep in track here. 3rd weight division. Okay? 3rd weight division. He's at 147 now. Okay? Out of the 17 world championship fights, okay, 17 world championship fight, he fought 8 fights at 147. Okay? That means by the time he ran into Errol Spence Jr., Errol Spence Jr. was his 8th fight in the 147, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it was. It was his 8th fight, right? Okay. And he fought the likes of fighters like Sean Porter, Kell Brooks, Terence, we could be here. I could break down. If you want to go that way, I could break down every fighter he fought and their records coming into it. Kell Brooks was 39-2-0. Sean Porter was 31-3-1. Okay. Davis was 29-3-1. You know what I mean? So, I have it, but I'm just trying to make it a little shorter. So my point is that in Terence Crawford's championship, what he's going to be judged in the Hall of Fame, when he walks into the Hall of Fame, this is what he's going to be judged for, right? He has 1 belt at 135, right? He fought 2 fights at 140, and he obtained the belt at 140. Then he moves up to unify the titles, takes all 4 belts at 140, right? So that's 5 belts. He moves up to 147. He fights Errol the True Spencer, which he had 3 of the titles. He unifies all 4 of those. That's 4 more. That's 9 world titles. 4-4-1. 9 world titles. That's what Terence Crawford has, okay? Now, in his last 10 fights, Terence Crawford is 10 for 10. He has knocked out his last 10 opponents. Okay? Now, 11 of them were world champions out of the 17. He knocked out 14 out of 17. Out of his 17 world championship fights, Terence Crawford knocked out 14 of the 17 world championship fights he's been in. And 11 of them were world champions. All right? That's Terence Crawford's record. Okay? One more thing. Here's the thing I was a little shying away from, and you guys know it. Terence Crawford is the first man in boxing history to unify all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions. He stands alone. His name is there by himself. With that by itself, with that kind of accolade and achievement by itself, it should blow anybody else out the water. The thing is that I don't want to use that as why Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world, and I'm using that to protect Terence Crawford. Stay with me in the video. You're going to see why, okay? Watch this. Naoya Inoue, the person that is being compared to him and is fighting for the #1 spot and also for the #1 spot worldwide. Because like I said, Terence Crawford is the #1 fighter in America, right? He is the best American fighter we have, hands down. There's no debating that. Okay, Naoya Inoue comes to us from Zaire, Japan. If I said that wrong and offended anybody, I'm sorry. I just can't pronounce it. Okay, look. Terence Crawford got his first title shot at 23 fights. It took him 6 years from the day he started his career. Naoya Inoue started his career at 19 years old. Within 1 calendar year, he contested for his first world title. In his 6th professional fight, he was already a world champion. He won the fly belt at the WBC belt at 108, okay, by his 6th professional fight. It took Terence Crawford 6 years to get his first shot, and his 23rd fight to get his first shot at his first world title, okay. It took Terence Crawford 32 fights to become a 2-division world champion. Naoya Inoue became a 2-division world champion in his 8th professional fight. Yeah. Okay. He moved up from 115 and he goes up to he jumped 2 weight divisions from 108 to 115. That's where he made the 2-division jump. Then he went from 115 to 118, where he fought the champion there, Jamie McDonald. Jamie McDonald was undefeated for the past 10 years. Okay, coming up into that point. He had held the belt in that division coming up around 4 years. He's never been knocked down in his professional career. Naoya Inoue moves up to his division. No tune-up fight, no acclimation, he hasn't been in the division fighting 8 fights before he fought the top guy. He moves right up, fights the top guy. He knocks him out in 1 round. Impressive. 8. He's the first fighter in Japanese history to ever do such. Okay? So by only 8 fights, he's already a 2-division world champion. All right. So he moves up to fight in the Muhammad Ali. Well, it was 118 pounds at this point. It's not moving up in weight, actually, but it's moving up in quality of opponents. He was fighting now the best that they had to offer him at the 118 pound, where that he entered the Super Series and won the Muhammad Ali trophy at the end, where he fought legendary Hall of Famer Donito Donaire. He wins that fight. And in that fight, he breaks his article bone. And he was really tested in that fight. He perseveres. He wins that. So he has the Covenant Muhammad Ali trophy. Not only does he have the Muhammad Ali trophy, he has the first one. Okay? Now, stay with me. Okay. Naoya Inoue beat Rodriguez in there by securing the WBA title, right? Okay. So, he fights later Donaire again in a rematch where they said that Donaire had exposed a little flaws in Naoya Inoue's traits. We all heard the stories. Naoya Inoue knocks him out in 2 rounds, then goes on and challenges Paul Butler, right? And he unifies all 4 belts. In fact, in Naoya Inoue's career, he has 20 consecutive world title fights. Let's see what he did in his world title fights. Okay? So, for Naoya Inoue, he had 20 world title fights, right? He had 1 world title fight, which he just fought the most recently with Stephen Kubo Fulton at 122. So that's a world title fight. He had 9 world title fights at 118. He had 8 world title fights at 115. And he had 2 world title fights at 108. Okay? That's okay. Now, out of he fought against 12 world champions out of the 20 world title fights. Some of them were world title defenses, right? But that's still a world title fight. He knocked out 10 world champions out of the 12 world champions he faced in the 20 world title fights. You understand? Okay. Now, outside of the U.S., he's traveled outside of the U.S. He came down to Madison Square Garden. He had 4 fights outside of the U.S. He's 4-0. It took Naoya Inoue 4 years to unify all the belts from the moment he got the first belt. From the time that he got the belt from Jamie McDonald at 118, it took him 4 years to unify all the belts. It took Terence Crawford from the moment he won the WBO against Jeff Horn and that he faced up with Errol Spence Jr., it took him 6 years to unify the titles. Not to mention that Naoya Inoue did it in 4 years under a corona epidemic, which that set us back almost 2 fucking years, bro, to get everything, flowing right. Remember we went through that shit, okay? So, Naoya Inoue has become a world champion in less time, okay? He has become a 2-division champion in less time. Terence Crawford has 40 fights and 31 knockouts. Very impressive for an American fighter. Hats off to you, my brother, right? Okay. But the Japanese kid has 25 fights with 21 knockouts, right? That means Terence Crawford went the distance with 9 people. The Japanese kid went with 4 people. Okay? All right. The worstest fighter with the most losses that either of these fighters ever came up against, meaning when Terence Crawford's record when he comes into the fight, he's 40-31. The guy that he fought in his career that had the most losses, Terence Crawford went up against a guy that had 45 losses on his record. That's the worst guy he ever fought, right? The worst guy that the Naoya Inoue kid fought, out of everyone, was 10 losses. That was the worst. He never fought a guy with more than 10 losses. And I think he fought 2 guys with 10 losses his entire career. But with only having 25 fights, he's a 4-division world champion. Terence Crawford's a 3-division world champion. Okay? All right. Naoya Inoue is basically 10 for 10 on knockouts in his last 10 opponents. But if we're being technical, that would be an opinion of mine, so I have to back it up. If it's on paper, damn it, it's on paper. He's 9 for 10. Because the one that he didn't knock out was the Donaire fight. The first Donaire fight. Technically, we all know he really did knock him out in the fight, but that doesn't matter. It's what's on paper. Only facts here at Round 1 Sports Talk. So fuck it, damn it, bro. Naoya Inoue, you're 9 of 10, bro. In your last 10 fights then. Terence Crawford's 10 for 10. So he's got that one. Okay? So, yeah, only facts, bro. Only facts. So, here's the thing. Naoya Inoue secured his belts faster than Terence Crawford did. Right? But Terence Crawford is the first man to unify all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions, and I don't want that to be a part of the argument. This is why. Stay with me. Naoya Inoue stands to do the same thing. He just won 2 belts off Stephen Kubo Fulton, and he just signed to fight Tapales for the other 2 belts. The reason why I don't want that to come in is because, wait a minute, Terence Crawford did it twice. I keep saying that. So how much time did it take him to secure the 140 belts? If it took him 6 years, and yeah, how much time? Wait a minute. How much time did it take him? Terence Crawford won the belt in 2015, April 18th. He won his first 140-pound against Jeff Horn. The last belt that he won was 2017, April 8th. All right? It took him 2 years and a half. On paper, baby. Right there. It took him 2.5 years to secure the 140. Now, it's not no 6 years. Now, you're in a way, right? Okay? So that's 2.5 years. Okay? So he beat his 4 years. Okay? All right. Okay, it's on paper. That it's there. Okay, so yeah. Okay, but yeah, my argument still stays the same though. The reason why I didn't want it to be coming is because if the Japanese kid Naoya Inoue beats Tapales, I'm rumored to hear that fight's gonna be in December. He would have won all 4 belts within a calendar year. Fuck that, not even a year. He just beat Stephen Kubo Fulton in July. It would be within 6 fucking months. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet because everything would have to be on Tapales to stop him. That's what would have to happen. Because what's going to happen is that attached to his... See, Terence Crawford would always stay number 1. But attached to Naoya Inoue's, it's going to be that he got there within 6 fucking months, bro. No boxer in history has ever done that. You know, he would be in a category by himself. And it would kind of eclipse it. Now, you know, just like they said to Tom Brady, right? Joe Montana had 4 rings and Tom Brady had 4 rings. And they didn't give a fuck. They were like, yo, Joe Montana's still the GOAT. Until Brady passes him, you know, it was all the way in, oh, Joe always had more rings. But when Brady finally caught up to him, the argument was still, nah, Joe Montana's the GOAT until you beat him. Until Naoya Inoue mirrors or matches Terence Crawford's 2 division 4 belts, you know, then that's what most people are going to use. And if you're going to use that, watch out because you're going to get blindsided. Because this kid's about to pull it off in a way more impressive fashion. Not only listen, he literally took Terence Crawford's resume and cut it in half. And let's keep in mind, Terence Crawford has 9 world titles. The Japanese kid has 8 world titles. That's it. Naoya Inoue has 4 divisions, but he only has 8 world titles. Terence Crawford has 1 more world title than him. Okay? So there's a lot of back and forth. Listen, the Japanese kid became a world champion in 6 fights. 2-division champion in 8 fights. And a 3-division world champion in 16 fights. He's killing it. And now on his 25th fight, he became a 4-division world champion. And only 25 fights. Terence Crawford only had 1 belt coming into his 25th fight. You know, I think he defended it. What was it? He defended it and then he made, with that first belt, he had 2 fights at 135. You see, before he moved up to 140. So that if he had it at 23, 24, 25, this man's already, by the time he hit 25 fights, he's already a 4-division world champion and successfully unified all 4 belts in 1 division with only 25 fights. Where that Terence Crawford has 40 fights, right? And he's done a lot. He has, you got to give him the belt at 135. He has 9 belts. He has 1 more, right? But a longer record. See what I'm saying? This guy, and if you're thinking about it, right, you're saying to yourself, wow, if the Japanese kid is being compared to the #1 best fighter in America, well then, you know, it stands, he's putting in that work. You know, look, he's only 5'5". He has an 87% knockout ratio, Naoya Inoue. You know what I'm saying? It's impressive how he's knocking these people out. He is truly a joy to watch. So the argument will stand skill for skill. And that would be an eye test for you. You would need to take and see and look at Terence Crawford and how he fights. And you will have to see how Naoya Inoue fight. Now, if you want to make the argument that Terence Crawford fought bigger guys, you can't do that because Naoya Inoue fought bigger guys as well in his division. Just like Terence Crawford fought big guys, Naoya Inoue fought big guys. J.C. McDonald, bro, he was towering over among this 5'5" guy. Okay, the Frenchman. Almost every fighter that Naoya Inoue has fought has been bigger than him in some way or another, whether it was size, height, reach, everything. I dare you to go back and look at this kid's tapes, right? He is truly phenomenal. So the argument stands, right? Look, like I said, and I brought it into it, in America, Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world, right? In America, right? Now, globally, this Japanese kid is coming into the argument. Even the famous great Floyd Mayweather, because they want to see Naoya Inoue fight at Gervonta Tank Davis, which we'll get into that in a second. But this video right here is mainly based on just what they accomplished. I broke it all down for you. I did your homework, your research for you. Which way do you want to go with this? Do you want to go, who did the most impressive knockouts? I got that for you. Do you want me to break down every fighter's record? I have that for you. Okay? Every division, I told you, 3 to 4. Terence Crawford has 9 belts. He has 8 belts. He became a champion in his 6th professional fight. He became a champion in his 23rd professional fight. Okay? 8th fight, 2 divisions. 32 fights, 2 divisions. You know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, this is where we're going. Terence Crawford knocked out his last 10. Naoya Inoue, 9 for 10. As of right now, no fantasy. It doesn't matter if the Japanese kid has a chance to pull it off. He hasn't done it yet. Terence Crawford has unified all 4 belts in 2.5 years. He did it in lesser time so far. Okay, like I said, we can't play fantasy and no assumptions here. It's only what they did. And I don't care if he can do it. You know what I'm saying? That don't matter. That don't count. It's what's on paper. Okay? It's what's on paper. And Terence Crawford did it better. That's it. Okay? He unified them at a faster time. So, okay. And he has the 2 division thing. I don't want to bring that into it, but he has it. That's what it is. Okay? Because what's going to happen is is that 4-ring thing like Tom Brady and Joe Montana is going to come into play. Okay? Once the Japanese kid pulls this shit off and he also becomes the second or whatever, you put the number to it, but the fact is he also did it. Who got there first? Whatever. I tagged it first. Don't matter. What you did is not unique anymore. Another person has done it. Meaning, Tom Brady threw 5 touchdowns in 1 quarter. He stands alone there. Doesn't matter what any other quarterback does. His name is there by himself. Right? There's nobody in that room with him. Okay? If he comes into the room, he goes, you're not special anymore, because there's other people that can do it. And the Charlo twin stands to be one of them that can do it too. He's also the equation. He might be the second. The Japanese might be the third. But the Japanese kid will be the one that did it in the shortest time in boxing history. 6 months? That's crazy. Okay? And with the resume that he has behind it, okay, he'll be a 2-division, 4-belt holder with all that other shit behind it that I looked up. Okay? It's going to be hard to beat him. And then with his skills that are apparent to see, I mean, this guy, he brings excitement, flair, power, speed, precision, timing to the equation. Okay? You have to be honest with your assessment. Listen, I am an American, and if I had to put myself in as a fan, I got Terence Crawford. I take myself away from a fan, and I am reporting boxing to you, and I am bringing you contents without being biased. Okay? Naoya Inoue has done more in impressive fashion than our American Terence Crawford. Now, stylistically, as their fighting styles and what they can do inside of the ring, I wanted to bring this into the argument, but it doesn't help Terence Crawford. The fact that the Japanese kid right now, since the moment he started his career at 19 years old, I looked this up. He's lost about a total about 8 to 10 rounds in all of his fights. 25 fights, he's only lost about 8 to 9 rounds in his entire career. But from my mirror, I think he's lost less rounds, right? But apparently the judges felt like whoever this fucking guy was, won that round. And I checked those rounds, because you can go to Boxing Record for yourself. Put in Naoya Inoue in Boxing Record. On the side of the list of all his fights, you're going to see it. It says scores on the side. Okay, it says event, everything. It's going to show you the judges, the date, the time, and on the side it's going to say score. Hit the score. The 3 scorecards are going to come up in the fan scorecard. You're going to notice that it says FAN on the top. Scroll all the way up and it tells you the detail of how to read the scorecard. When you come back down, listen, I just kept clicking down the Japanese side scorecard just to see what the judges saw. It is truly remarkable. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. Bro, it was just 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Every fight that he fought, it was like you had to look for a 9 round. When I went to look up Terence Crawford, all right, I don't know why I did it. I started at Sean Porter fight. I clicked the Sean. Bro, it was like Terence Crawford lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had Sean Porter at one point winning in that fight. Yeah. Just in that fight alone, I was like, shit. So I clicked on the second one. There was a fight where leading into the 5th round, he was losing on all judges' scorecards until he knocked the guy out. He did knock the guy out in the 5th round, but according to the judges' scorecard. So it was like, I clicked on 3 or 4 fights, and I was like, wow, this Japanese kid got him beat in that category so bad. I was like blown away. So I was like, wow, that's not really helping Terence Crawford. So, and then that comes to play. Who is the best fighter in the world if you're losing a lot of your rounds, whether you were showboating, fucking around? That's not the point. You're in your job. This goes down on paper, and this will be held against you. Okay? So I don't care what you were doing, giving Sean Porter breaks or whatever, and then you came out and crushed him. Well, you should have did that in round one, and you would have a more impressive resume, right? Okay. This Japanese kid, man, I tell you, do it for yourself. Terence boxing records, Terence Crawford, Naoya Inoue, you can go back and forth on the page. Okay? And you will see it for yourself. It will also tell you everything I looked up for you. Okay? It gave me all my information. The only information I'm getting is from the official page of their careers. What they did. That's it. And I gotta admit that Naoya Inoue did it in more spectacular fashion, quicker time. Within 1 year of turning pro, he was a world champion. Terence Crawford took him 6. Judging all these merits, the one thing that separates Terence Crawford in the eyes and the views of a lot of fans is the fact that he is a 2. And they're clinging on to that because of the fact that they know that in reality, this Japanese kid is really fucking good. But as an American, man, you can't turn your back on your guy. You got to ride and die with your people, bro. You got to ride and die. Terence Crawford until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? Till someone defeats it. But I tell you who will not defeat him. It won't be this Japanese kid because they're not in the same weight division. Unfortunately, they're too far apart. Okay, Terence Crawford is going in another way. He's already threatening to fight at 168, the winner of the Charlo Twin and the Canelo Alvarez fight. And he's not going back down. He doesn't even want to go back down to 147. Never mind. And you got this guy that he just fought his last fight at 122 pounds. Come on, people, that fight would never happen. You know what I mean? It would be spectacular if you could shrink Terence Crawford a little bit and maybe give this guy a little bit size. It would be a beautiful fight. Oh, that would be oh my God. That would be a Superman versus Superman fight right there. Okay? Because Terence Crawford is an incredible athlete. He is an incredible athlete. He has great twitch movement. Sometimes I think he's playing with his food too much. But had he been more dominant, less fighters would have wanted to fight him. The fact that Terence Crawford is in a glamour division, because the welterweight division is a glamour division, meaning that there's a lot of eyes always on the 130, 135, 147, and 154, pound weight divisions. Those are our glamour divisions, and the heavyweight division is one as well. These other smaller divisions don't get a lot of notoriety, and the fact that the Japanese kid is bringing eyes to the lower weight division speaks volume. He's like a Michael Jordan that went on Chicago Bulls. He didn't need a stacked team to bring eyes. It was his skill that was attracting you, and that is exactly what he is doing. He's that good. If you've never seen him fight, please take the time just to check him out. You can still keep your opinion that Terence Crawford is the greatest fighter in the world and that he is ranked pound for pound #1. I went and checked it out right now, and they do have Terence Crawford as the #1 fighter in the world, and I am okay with that. I am okay with it. Naoya Inoue he's putting in work. And this guy is going to put so much work in that you're not going to be able to deny him. And unfortunately, sometimes the smaller guy has to work twice as hard just to get notoriety. He had to put this much work in just for you to go like this. Because you don't even want to look at him. There is no one in your mind better than Terence Crawford, and you can't see that in your head. So when they say that there's someone out there that's better than him, I get it. It's hard for you to even think that. You don't even want to check him out. You don't even want, and then they say he's a Japanese fighter. Come on. We all know that those guys do great over there. Soon as they cross the pond and come to America, what happens to your Ricky Haddings, to your Anthony Joshua's? What happens? Bro, destroyed, right? But Naoya Inoue is 4-0 coming to America so far. He's undefeated. And he's coming and he's fought American fighters already. Okay, and he just fought the top 122-pound fighter in the world, which he moved up to that division with no tune-up fight and knocked out Stephen Kubo Fulton, which Terence Crawford fought 7 fights before he met the best man at 147. Not to also mention that Naoya Inoue won all his world titles one at a time. That is more prestigious than fighting one guy that has 3 belts. You didn't have to do much. You see? And Terence Crawford, he fought, and won. At 140, he won the WBO first. Then he unified that one. And then he fought the last guy, which was in Inoue, for the last 2 belts. So he fought 2 guys to unify. No, 3. He fought 3 guys because he had to win the first one. Then he unified that one. He fought 3 guys to unify. And then he fought 2 guys to unify the second one. Naoya Inoue, he went after each guy one at a time. Not one guy had 2 belts, no 3 belts. No, he did it the hardest way possible. And he did that within 4 years and a half, at one at a time. Terence Crawford did it 2 years and a half, but now I'm sitting here thinking about it, and my boxing mind is going. He did do it in 2.5 years, but he fought 3 fighters. You know, hey, you know, but yeah, that's what it is. So I have broke it down for you. I have broke down both fighters, and in your honest assessment, your honest opinion, all you're left with is, what does this guy really look like? What is all this hype about? Go check him out. Go check him out. And look, if you're still saying that Terence Crawford is the best, respect. You know, as a reporter, I'm not turning my back on the American fighter. I'm just reporting facts, right? As a fan, I got Terence Crawford. He's my American fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? But as an unbiased analyst to report boxing, I love Naoya Inoue. He is everything I would want in a fighter, man. He truly is. He is a joy to watch. He is a pleasure, and I am glad that he is around, and I'm glad that we are having this conversation, because I'm a smarter man now to know that I love my rivals. That's why it makes things more intriguing. These kind of debates, the fact that we want our guy to even be better grade. Terence Crawford moves up, fights the winner of that, and becomes a 3-division world champion in the 4-belt era, and he has all 4 belts in 3. Then, bro, it just blows the roof off of this guy's fucking things. But that's Fantasy Island, and that's what if, and we can't get hyped up or what could be. I on here at Round 1 Sports Talk can only talk about what they actually did. I told you and I promised you at the beginning of this video that I would not have no opinions. I would only bring facts. And those are the facts right there. You are left now with just the 2 fighters. You be the judge. You tell me. Listen, if you like this video, support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Give me a comment, And and in the comment section, if you want to just show me a way that you like the video, put a R1 for round 1. And I'll know. On to the next video. Peace.